Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Oh man, I was so mad today.
Yeah.
I saw the movement of the vehicles.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw it, man. And because he snuck in there, like the guy parked behind him by the sign, closer to the sign, moved, and he had moved his car back, so he was blocking out more spots again. So he finagled his way around my vehicle that was, blocking his ability to do us by utilizing, the car on the other side of him. And
Right.
and we were driving somewhere today, just a little bit ago before this, and I saw him doing it, and he literally just pulled the car up, put on the blinkers, blocking the entire spot out, got out, went to the other vehicle, moved it, pulled that vehicle back in. So he does it in a way where nobody could ever possibly get in there because he's blocking it out with his other car, with his blinkers on the whole time, and then he just instantly moves over there. Oh, maybe makes my blood boil, man. Blood boil.
It's weird that you have lived there as long as you have, where this has been a non-issue.
Well,
suddenly,
it's funny because when I was having that conversation with him, and I kind of wondered where this came from as well. When I had this conversation with him, when I originally saw him and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Basically, he had said that the car used to be his neighbor's car. He just bought it from him. So he had just acquired a car for the first time. He probably only must have had one car before that.
I see.
Isn't this supposed to be down one more layer or not? To start, there should be the second layer should be there because then the two layers of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hate having to place these blocks. It's very annoying.
Yeah,
I still don't know how to do it.
Well, we're gonna have to take out something over here to do it.
I guess I shouldn't
out
say I don't
behind
know
you.
how to do it. I know how to do it. It's just obnoxious to
Yeah,
do it.
it is obnoxious to put them in certain spots, like you can't do it without it fucking up like that. Yeah.
It's weird that you have this.
You just
Ow.
fell down. It's weird that you have what?
This rival with this guy.
It's just it's just one of those things. Like, it's the act of the discourtesy with no thought process for anybody else is what really pisses me off. Like, it'd be one thing if he had even the fact that he thinks he's being like the neighborhood savior, according to his own words, is that he's saving the neighborhood from assholes who park there who don't live there.
Is there a lot of that going on, you think?
He claims there is. No, there's definitely not. He's like, I see people all the time parked there, and they're just getting their car, and then they run down the street, and because they don't even live around here. I'm like, do you have any idea, like, what you're really talking about here or not? Like, no, nobody knows. So, and the fact that and the more I think about it, and the more I watch him and the way he moves that car and his actions and stuff, I don't know if he really thinks that or not, or if he was just trying to use that as an excuse to.
What are the actions that you see him perform that make you think
Just
this?
the way he constantly is moving the car, how he never moves the one car except for 5 feet back and forth, and it's just the other car that gets driven. He basically is just saving a spot. Like, it's really all about he's just saving a spot outside of his house, and he's trying to argue with me and tell me that there's some other reason why he's doing what he's doing. So that's what I can't stand.
It does crack me up. I know it shouldn't, but it does.
I mean, it's like the alley people, I need more.
The alley people piss me off.
See, I know. That's what I said. That's what I meant. It's like the alley people for you. And they actually piss me off less than this guy. Because at least they're courteous. Even though they're blocking the freaking alley, when you, like, if they park in front of your driveway or your garage door or something like that, they will be there to move that car when you get there. Like,
Well, I don't know. You've had those occasions where you're like, "Excuse me, can you move?" It takes them 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, my wife's had that one time where it took them a long time. Usually they're pretty fast, but so yeah, it does get annoying. But for the most part, they're courteous about it. We actually haven't had them park in front of our driveway in a long time now. They seem to hang out a little bit farther down. Is that it? Are we out?
We are out.
Okay. Did you bring any glowstone?
No.
Me neither. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna try to use this elytra.
Yeah, I like how you say that. Like it might just not work.
It's possible. I mean, I haven't really used it. I forget that we have it because I was so used to using it as a sole means of transportation because we had fireworks and we flew everywhere at the end of last season, and barely have used it for anything since
Can you see the lights?
Yes, I can.
How they look?
It looks square.
It's not. Kind of is.
Yeah, it definitely looks square. It's a little laggy, but I can see them. The size definitely is looking more proportionate.
Okay.
It's definitely a little laggy, though, the way it comes around. Glowstone, there's that. Do you know how many we're missing of the redstone lamps?
Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
That's it?
Actually 10, because I can pull out this corner here. Yeah, 10.
Well, I'm going to bring 15 just because.
You don't trust me?
No. Oh, I was trying to make sure I get up to 10. I'm about to use all the redstone. Yeah, I should only make 10, I guess. Because we only have 13 redstone left.
Bring some wood, too.
Okay, I have plenty of wood on me.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard in the news or anything, but did you you know what my weekend consisted of?
What happened?
So on Saturday, I'm sitting at like an outdoor bar. They have this ice cream. I'm trying to remember the brand of ice cream. I guess it's from like Oregon, and they're doing a cross country ice cream tour. And they're hooking up with a bunch of local bars and doing like a free samples of ice cream at the bar. So it's pretty cool. Like you get to eat ice cream at the bar for free.
Yeah.
So we went up to this bar down the street where they were doing it at. Here it's like one of those outdoor bars so it can get really freaking hot if you don't get in the like any of the good seating that's in the shade. Especially with this weather that we've had that's 100 fucking degrees every day. But I'm at this bar drinking my first beer, luckily only my first beer, and I get the text message that there's like crisis call I need to join for the hospital, like something's going on at the hospital with power. And I was like, all right, like I'm gonna get on this call, find out what's going on. I'm sure that there's gonna be certain servers and applications that are down, but the backup generator should bring up main parts of the power. So I gotta figure out what applications are down and if I'm gonna be needed, because are we on like electronic health record downtime or what the deal is. And I get on this call, and the first thing I hear is my IT person. He's just like, he's panting frantically. And it turned out he was panting because he had to take the stairs up to one of the sixth floor of one of the buildings because there was not working elevators because of lack of power. And all I hear him say is, "I'm in the server room right now. It's pitch black. Power went out. Generators didn't work." And I'm like, generators didn't work? So literally my hospital lost all power and the generators didn't work.
Why did the generators not work?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think they're still investigating that. But it's amazing to think because so the nice thing is they were down without any power, and most of the hospital, one of the multiple generators we have actually works. So there's a portion of the hospital that had power, but think like. Luckily, we live in the day and age we do, because if the generators didn't work 20 years ago, equipment that keeps people alive didn't have batteries.
Right.
Oops. I didn't realize you were up there. I thought that was just, I was just cleaning that up because I thought that was just random, like, I thought that was part of your building block to have built this thing. Are you alive?
I am barely alive.
I was like, why did Goo just fall from above me after I broke that block?
There was a skeleton that was involved in this somehow too. He just jumped on my head. It's like, not only did you leave me with barely any hearts, now skeleton out of nowhere. Oh, he still found a way.
Do you need assistance?
I can't fight him.
Wait, where is he?
I don't have any arrows.
Can I shoot
I'm just
him
gonna
from
jump
here?
off of here and use
Wait.
my elytra. I'm out. Goodbye.
I got the skeleton. Shot him from above.
Oh, nightmare.
I had no idea you were up there. But yeah, like, think of,
So no one died or anything.
no, like there was no, as far as everybody is aware, like, you know, with all the after action stuff, like there was no harm to anybody. It's mainly about finding the root cause of like what happened, so we can ensure that it doesn't happen again, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, think if something like that happened, like, you know, 20 years ago, before everything had such, you know, capable battery backups for some, you know, for a lot of this equipment.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Oh my God, I can't even. Like, it's funny because it's one of those situations where you don't know what you don't know, and we didn't know that we didn't know that we didn't have a comprehensive enough plan, because, you know, all of our, you know, plans for disasters and stuff pretty much talk about the fact that, you know, power goes out, our backup, you know, is this, you know, emergency generators that will do this, and you only have, you know, partial, you know, power to do things with, but you still have emergency
Wait, there was
generator power.
no contingency for if generators don't work?
Apparently not.
Wow.
And it's just,
Even like the IT jobs I've worked had that.
had contingency for even if generators
Generator
were down,
failure. Yeah, like if generator failure, follow this procedure. Which
I'd be-
mainly was call, place, and rent generator.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is your? Well, that's what they ended up doing. So I guess in theory there possibly was some type of backup. Well, I guess there was also supposed to be like a backup generator just in case, but it was out for maintenance or something. Like, I don't know all the details of everything, but it's just funny because, you know, most of your plans, you know, talk about, you know, the generator still functioning, and that's what happens if you lose power. And we'll talk about, well, what do I do? You know, let's say this thing is going on for days or for weeks. What do you do as you start to run out of, like, we have a lot of terrorist planning stuff. Like, what if a terrorist organization took out the eastern seaboard's power grid? Well, backup generators run for a while, but eventually, if you have this on the eastern seaboard, fuel is going to end up being a problem because everybody's using generators at this point. So you have all these contingency plans about how you do stuff and that, but that's more thinking long term, not, you know, the extremely short-term effects of. Wow, see, I just tried to use my elytra and it did not work. Luckily, I just jumped into the water.
Did you run out of wood?
No? Did we need more? I went to come look at what it looked like.
Oh, I was thinking it would go over the edge. I thought it would match the area below it.
Well, oh yeah, it might. Let me go take a look at what it looks like now, and then I'll come back. Do you want to come see if you can see it? Can you see the lights actually on?
I can't when I'm standing here on top of them.
I wonder how far you go away before they stop showing for you.
Fly over here now and see what I see.
Yeah, it's just
no, I can't see them when I'm not right there at them.
That's so weird. Like, I can see them from way over here. Yeah, you're right. I can't see the top at all, so we do need to extend the top out. I wish we could make it a third one tall.
Oh, what?
A third lamp higher.
Oh. Well, there's got to be a way. We just don't.
I mean, in theory, I don't know how you'd sync it up. We could do the same thing, build the same thing above it, but upside down, right?
Yeah.
Does it work that way?
Syncing that up would be a nightmare.
Yeah. Or we could do it upside down the other way and have it go the opposite direction. That might look kind of cool.
Good, yeah.
How do we get in here now? Did you make a way?
Well, I think you just closed it up the way I had made.
We closed it up the way you had made with.
No, I'd made another way after
Oh.
that, but yeah, it's closed up with the roof now. We can break this in.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like
It's not
the final.
visible.
Yeah, it's super ghetto.
Here, you want some of. There you go. You can build what you want to build, but you want to make it.
Well, should we make it still too high here? Like replace what you just put down with full blocks.
Oh yeah, I guess we could use some full blocks in some of these spots. I mean, if you put two slabs, it turns into full blocks anyway.
Well, that's true. Well,
I think these are slabs actually right here.
are they? They are. Well, however you want to do it. Do you have full block? I guess I have full blocks. I don't know.
Yeah, emergency preparedness stuff is really intriguing to me, but it's so like scary at the same time to think of the things like I never thought I would, work during a ransomware, and that happened.
Yeah.
I never thought that in a million years I would ever walk into a pitch black functioning hospital in my life, and that happened.
That's pretty scary.
Luckily, it was during the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because if it was at night, it would have been a whole different story. I guess the really interesting thing is it was a Pepco is the power company around here, and it was the Pepco substation that feeds a big chunk of. There's like 4 hospitals on one campus at, here where my hospital's at. There's 4 total hospitals in the campus. There's the VA, Children's Hospital, and National Rehab Hospital.
That's kind of scary. That's putting a lot of eggs in a basket.
Well, I guess we have 5 feeds that come in from the power company. Nobody's really ever in a million years thought that we could lose all 5 feeds, but I guess they were all fed from Pepco from the same substation. And Pepco was investigating, and everybody's assumption at first was that it was based on the fact that, so many people were using air conditioning because, it was super hot. And I guess Pepco has officially come out and said their investigation has revealed that is not what happened, but they don't know what happened. Like why the substation
that's no
didn't
damn
work.
Good.
Right.
That's kind of more scary.
So
now you knew.
Yeah, so now we're like waiting on Pepco to come back with why they lost power in the first place. So it's really it's really interesting to just deal with.
That's got to be scary for patients too, especially if you are one on life support. I guess you're probably not conscious really.
Yeah, they're probably not as scared, not directly. So now we need to go.
Well, I guess for like family members that are there.
Well, absolutely. Can you imagine if something negative actually happened to a family member who was in the hospital, and the response was like, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" Well, we lost power, and that's why your dad is dead. That would be a little fucked up.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. That sounds like a malpractice type of thing, isn't it?
It'd be something. It'd definitely be something. I don't know what that something would be, but it's something. We can build this thing up to be beautiful. So yeah, when people ask me if you have a boring job in an office now, sometimes things are less boring than we'd like them to be.
Can imagine. How long was the power out?
Without generator for 2.5 hours.
That's scary.
And then when generators came, got them working again, and it's out for another, main power was out for another 45 minutes or so. And I mean, it's hard enough to work on generator power anyway because, less functioning power outlets the way it's designed. But from an IT and emergency or electronic health record perspective, where all the medications and stuff are being, ordered and all, a lot of the times that stuff still doesn't come up just when you're on backup power, because you might have access to some of your servers, but if your servers are the ones that, not all servers are going to come back online with backup power, and if it's not the ones that are feeding the specific systems you're trying to access, or maybe you just lost access to your internet and everything's based on getting out to the internet or the cloud or something nowadays.
Right.
So it is kind of funny, too, how reliant we are on, we have a lot of downtimes because they're not our fault. It would be the electronic health record company, or we'll lose our internet feed, like it'll be a Verizon outage or something like that. And we do have redundancies built into some of that stuff, but it still takes a long time to get the redundancy up and running. So, if Verizon went out, there's a different internet provider that we have also as a backup line, but it doesn't just immediately flip over. You have to do work to get it to come up. So, there's a lot of things that you have.
I'm surprised they don't have that automated, where if down, switch sort of thing.
Well, I think it's probably harder to do it when it's between companies. I do think that there's, since we're a big medical system, there's different places house a lot of the servers for the organization, and we do have redundancy with that stuff, whereas there's geographical locations of places that there's backups for that can automatically turn on, but not for everything. It's just really interesting to see what you can possibly run into in this world now, and it's because we're all I don't know if you ever watched the Die Hard series, with Bruce Willis and yeah. So did you watch the Live Free or Die Hard, the one that came out years later that had Justin Long and Jack Buddy. It's okay, dude. You okay, bud? Well, in that series, he in the last, or not the last one, because there's one after the last one now. There's a couple weird ones. But the one with Justin Long, it was all based on, terrorist attack by using what they call the fire sale or whatever. And it was pretty much, accessing, hacking the grid and hacking, power companies and this, that, the other. There was for a purpose, but it basically, Justin Long was talking about how everything is so based on computers nowadays. Nobody knows how to function anymore without them. It sent the world into chaos.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The easiest big terror attack would be just get rid of our power.
Yeah.
Because once people didn't have computers, they wouldn't know how to be.
Well, and you've heard Florida, multiple counties in Florida, and then Baltimore County, all their governments got hit with the ransomware attack, and Baltimore County was down. I don't even know if they're back up still. They were down for at least 3 or 4 weeks, not knowing what to do because they couldn't get their systems back online because they were being held on ransomware. The biggest problem with that's coming now, apparently. So a lot of people have insurance about ransomware attacks, and any costs you incur due to an attack like that, you get paid back. I remember when we had our ransomware attack, I was supposed to catalog all the expenses that I did for the ransomware so we could submit it to insurance and get reimbursement from our insurance company for it. A lot of the insurance companies are having debates whether it's too expensive to do that as opposed to just paying the ransom. So insurance companies are now paying the ransom for facilities because it's cheaper, which is just propagating the problem because now hackers are realizing it works. There was a couple of major, the whole European hack that happened 2 years ago now, when most of Europe got hit with that ransomware that propagated through really fast, and people were tracking the Bitcoin account that the ransomware was for, and it got $7,000 in it by the end of the attack. Europe, nobody paid the ransom basically, and it was looking good. This is going to send a message to those hackers that people aren't going to deal with this shit. This shit's not going to work. And now you just have insurance companies who are you know what? Saves us money to just pay the ransom.
That's crazy. Huh. Well, that definitely makes it a lot more profitable for them. I wonder how many of these groups that are doing this have been caught. Some of them had to have been caught by now.
One would think, but you never know. It's part of the problem with ransomware is even if you have been caught, a lot of the way these ransomwares work, you could get caught the first day you deployed it into the wild, but it's still out there. It's still
Yeah,
in the
sure.
wild. It's still,
Right.
you know, it's kind of like torrents. Like back in the day, we used to, you know, illegally download music with like Napster and Kazaa and all that stuff. That was based on, you know, well, I guess Napster was based on specifically I connected to a person and I downloaded a file from that person.
It wasn't peer to peer.
It was
I
peer
mean,
to
it
peer.
wasn't like, but it wasn't.
If I
Multi-peer-to-peer?
recall the way Napster worked, I could be wrong. And then I remember Kazaa and LimeWire coming out, where you could do pieces of the files from multiple different people.
Right.
And once you got those things out in the wild, like you can shut down Napster, but you can't shut down what Kazaa is. You can't shut down what torrents are. Like they're out there forever now. Like you can never just stop them.
Right. Because as long as someone is seeding.
As long as somebody is seeding, right. As long as somebody has an application that seeds torrents, like that's all you need for it anymore. You know, these things are trying to propagate. They're going through the system, and you know they will. It's almost like a chain letter. You'll never. I guess you don't see those as much anymore. Remember when those were super popular in email?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the forward this within 15 minutes or your grandma does.
And it's funny because that was almost like I just lost my potatoes. I don't know what I did with them. I think I put them in a chest thinking they were glowstone. I think those were basically the Nigerian print scam without being a scam. It was just get them to as many people as you possibly can and see where it goes. And then it's almost like the Nigerian print scam was like, let's do that exact same thing, but profit. Like they added that third step in there.
Right.
Because that's all it is, right? It's the same thing. You just put it out there and you're hoping for it to get out there to more people so that you can.
I mean, it's a little different because no one ever received the Nigerian print scam and then forwarded it to their grandma.
That's true. That's true. I mean, some people might have. They'd be like, Grandma, all our troubles.
Help us, boy. He's a
saved.
prince.
Yeah, he's a prince. He got our back. He heard our prayers. He'll get us. Hey, did you know that bamboo can grow not next to the water?
Nuh-uh. I don't believe it.
I've heard such
I will never believe it. I won't buy what you're selling. And with that, this episode's over, everybody.
And
Thanks for watching.
see ya.